Hi guys, welcome back to my series, I Was in Prison, Part 5. Yes, I am actually going to be working on a podcast for this, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, all of my stuff will be here on TikTok and over on YT. All right, let's get to some of the most asked questions. And today I'm going to be talking about conning the COs. I guess I should tell my personal story about this one, but this one happened when I was in county with a CO there. I'm not going to say her name because just not going to do it. So here's this story. So I had to obviously spend time in county before I was sentenced. I didn't have a bond because in South Carolina, if you are a fugitive of justice or if you are a failure to appear, it's an automatic no bond, meaning you have to sit in jail until your court date and until you're sentenced. And either you're released or you are sentenced to prison.
What's wrong with our cats? Mia.
All right, so my girlfriend that I had ran from drug court with, who was also in drug court, had not been very nice, and so we were broken up while we were in county, and I was feeling pretty down on myself, and there was a CO there that was in an abusive relationship, and it looked like she was also feeling pretty down on herself. We can see that. We can see when you've been having a bad day at home when you come to work. You guys wear it all over your face. If you're a CO in a smaller prison or in a smaller state, we have family members on the outside that does the research. But back to my story about me and the CO at county. So I was a pod worker, and the COs could call you whenever they needed you for whatever reason. Basically, me being the pod worker meant that I basically cleaned the pod, I served the trays, during meal times, ran whatever errands the COs needed me to run. Basically, you're the CO's bitch. And I don't mean to brag, but I was actually a really good pod worker, so the COs usually always called on me, which constantly got me called a narc, but that was never the case. If y'all knew, I was actually fucking one of the COs in the showers. Anyway, one day she called me down to go clean the showers because you clean the showers at like 8 o'clock at night after all recs are over and all showers are over. So she called me to clean the showers, and while I was cleaning the showers, she came in there with me and she started telling me about her relationship and how abusive it was, and she knew my story, and a couple things led to another. We both got in trouble for it.
Too loud?
Oddly enough, how we got caught was another inmate routed us out, which normally how it goes. Can we just take some time real quick to appreciate my wife here? She is everything to me. She puts up with all of my shenanigans, and she's the one in the background helping me record all of my TikTok series. So
I'm your sister. That's weird.
oh my God. And like I said, as far as conning guards and getting them to do things for you or bring things in for you, no guard does that unless they want to. We're not holding guns to anybody's heads. We're not blackmailing anyone. We're not doing anything like that. In prison, the guards are supposed to be authority to us. They are supposed to be the ones in charge. They're the ones that are technically supposed to keep us safe and protect us, right? So if we're coming to you, and even if it is us trying to con and manipulate you, you're the adult in this situation, and you're supposed to say, never going to happen, blah, 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 whatsoever. So like I said, I've never conned a guard that didn't want to do it. But that is not to say that we don't know how to manipulate you, because we absolutely know how to manipulate you, especially as women. Every human being has their weak point, right? And because we're doing so much time, and because a lot of our time is spent observing, we figure those out pretty fast. And we can push on those weak points in order to get what we want. Maybe it's not necessarily you bringing stuff like items, physical items. Maybe it's you letting us go see our girlfriend in the other room and not saying anything, turning a blind eye, letting us go behind the station to go to the other quad to meet them, that sort of thing. Yeah, absolutely. And it's because we sit and we observe. COs work 8 12-hour shifts, so you're into the whole prison thing 12 hours a day, but then you go home and you live your normal life. We're in prison 24 hours a day. We have 24 hours to sit and think about everything. And this is the reason that more rehabilitative programs and just programs in general are needed in prisons. They're needed for the structure, they're needed for more community, real life skills, just anything that helps to pass the time where you're not just sitting idle, because everybody knows what the idle hands are. Unfortunately, a lot of society doesn't believe that inmates are worth investing money into for programs that would actually rehabilitate them and reduce recidivism. So that's another reason why I'm doing this series. It's so important to humanize those that are incarcerated, because like I said, 99% of us just made a bad decision or a series of bad decisions, and it's not because we're just bad people. So I am so thankful for all of the love and support. I've gotten over 10,000 new followers in the last 48 hours. I will keep posting, keep dropping your questions in the comments. You guys are absolutely amazing.